Yeah! It's so good! Once it hits your lips, it's so good!
By Jove, Jeeves, I fancy a can of Bud Light beer. You don't have? How about just a normal Budweiser?
Very good, sir. Late night last night, sir?
Budweiser, a name that is synonymous with American culture as we know it. Budweiser, more American than Mom's apple pie. Budweiser, probably about as American as ZZ Top. Budweiser, the company that is about as butch and American as Mr. Kurt Russell himself.
What are your thoughts on marriage equality?
I'm sorry?
What are your thoughts on marriage equality?
What do you mean by that?
Gay marriage, same-sex marriage, you know, what's
Oh, I don't think I really don't care about. I think there's an issue that people aren't talking about with gay marriage. There's a lot of things that they beat around the bush with. My beef, I'm a libertarian, so my beef with advantages given to anybody because they happen to live together and have a ring and have had a ceremony. I don't think married couples should get an advantage of any kind. So my beef isn't with as a political move. It's not with gay marriage. It's with why does anybody get an advantage over anybody else because they happen to live with somebody and have a family? I don't follow
Do you
that.
think we should wipe out marriage altogether?
No, I didn't say that. It's a bad jump.
Okay.
See, a principled man like Kurt Russell. They fire a question at him, he gives an articulate answer, and what happens? All the snowflakes get all crazy down below because they're idiots.
The next half hour.
C brings you.
Yes. I'm kind of late to this story, but I wanted to see how it would actually play out. Budweiser, an American institution unto itself, is in a whole heap of trouble right now because they've lost billions and millions of dollars off the value of their share market because they bowed down to woke identity politics. Honestly, I can't make this up. And in fact, if we go over to this article here from the Daily Mail, sometimes who I like to call the Daily Fail, one of their writers, Dan Watton, has described the drama unfolding with Budweiser as something of, people are getting one perception of it, but he's got another, which I kind of agree with to the most nth degree. The hate-filled gender lobby might deny reality, but trans influencer, and boy, how I hate that I word, Dylan Mulvaney is making a mockery of biological women. So brand names such as Nike, Bud, Olay, and even Hershey chocolate, shame on them for bowing down and buying into this woke, weird, political identity nonsense which you feel alienates those customers. Now look, let's get this straight, okay? If you're going into a shop and you're queer, or you're transgender, or you're black, or you're Chinese, you're Spanish, Indian, you get my drift, right? It sounds like a bad joke there, doesn't it? No, did you hear the one about the Irishman, the Jamaican man? And yeah, well, you know where I'm going with this, right? But you walk into those stores and you buy your favorite product. You don't care what that corporation is thinking about you as a person, right? Because at the end of the day, corporations are there to make money. They're capitalists. They want your money. They want you to be happy, right? At the end of the day, that is what capitalism is all about. It's not going to be a downfall for Budweiser. It's just going to take them a while to get back up again, as far as I know. So, if we go over to this article here from the New York Post, and you're probably doing a bit of a double take here and thinking, is this meant to be Audrey Hepburn? I guess it is. So this is one of the adverts that Mulvaney, who by the way is an attention-seeking trans gay singer. Now from what I know, Mr. Mulvaney, and yes, I'm going to refer to him as he, not by their other assigned pronouns, hasn't had gender reassignment surgery. They've just got a PP down below and, non-female breasts. But let's have a quick look at this intoxicating ad for Bud Light.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So,
I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate. This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too.
Oh, it's so sociological. But I tell you one thing, Michael, I'm gonna have to insist on.
What's that?
It's gotta be done in the best possible taste.
So you know what? The thing about these type of stories, when they land, I don't sit there and go, ugh, how horrible. Ooh, I don't want to watch this. Oh, this is terrible. Ugh. To me, I actually find these stories really funny. They're so amusing. Because if you bow down to identity politics when there was no need to do that in the first place, then what is the big deal, right? But to me, I find these type of stories absolutely hilarious. They make me chuckle because I like to see people suffer. And I mean, the people I like to see suffer, the big wigs, the big corporations that actually greenlit these projects in the first place. This is the first time I've seen Mulvaney. Now, I'll say his delivery is hilarious, is cringe. And by his own admission here, what sport are you talking about? Budweiser just sent me a whole crate load of drinks in the post, and I'm here to tell you that while I'm promoting them, I don't really care what sports you indulge in. So again, a lot of people who buy Bud Light are mostly going to be men. They're going to be sitting around at home on their sofas, watching the big football game, whatever sports event, okay? But I can't imagine someone like Dylan Mulvaney doing the same thing. Wow. And to top it all off, folks, we get their face on the can. Can you imagine going into a supermarket and this person's face greets you on the can? Hi there, it's me. It's your favorite queer beer. Come and take a sip, boys and girls. Even on a more bizarre note, now you know I said at the beginning of this video that Budweiser is about as American as country and Western music. Well, Kid Rock, you know, when he started off his career, he was kind of like this big metal rapper. Yeah. Then he made his migration to C&W music, and he's a pretty good singer, actually. But he made this very bizarre post on Twitter recently, and watch what he does. Again, the volume, please. Volume.
Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch.
So yeah, in case you want to know what happened there, he had an assault rifle and he was destroying cans of Bud Light beer. Now, Bud Light, I have drunk it before. I'm not saying I'm an avid drinker of it. I do like Michelob, but some people have described Bud Light as horse piss, which might be quite accurate, but still, it hasn't stopped millions of Americans going out there and buying it every day, every week. Now, Howard Stern had something to say about this, which I thought was very odd. Howard Stern, who back in the day did push the envelope when it came to very broad humor. Now he's Mr. Safe and Sound, wokey dokey. He's dumbfounded over Kid Rock's rant about shooting cans of Bud Light beer because it's been trans activisted, if that's even such a word. Now, I will say that Howard Stern is probably right to a degree. Like, why would you go to such an extreme protest, as it were, of shooting cans of beer because you don't like a certain ideology? I kind of get that. I do understand that. I mean, there are better ways to actually sit there and vent about it, which is kind of like what I'm doing right now, and that's fine. But again, Howard Stern used to be funny, but now he's not. It's kind of a bit weird. But the reason why all this controversy has kind of gotten out of hand is this lady right here. And I've got to get her name right because her name is a bit of a mouthful. Elisa Heinerscheid.
A couple of months ago, in this very, very serious grown-up boardroom with a lot of men, many of whom were older than me, and I found myself feeling remarkably at home, and it was just because we were all collectively working through these messy, hard things, and my opinion was valued, and they were looking to me for guidance, and I sort of marvel at that sometimes.
Now, she has described the reason for hiring Dylan Mulrooney because she wanted to update Bud Light's image because they've got this frat boy culture. But back in the day, in 2006, Miss Heinscheider was a bit of a frat boy herself. Yes, it's a shocking to believe this story, but look at that. That is her on the left, and I've got to say, she was better looking back then, having a good old time at Harvard at the ISIS Club. Well, that's an unfortunate acronym right there. And she's blowing up condoms as a balloon. A favorite fraternity party boy, frat boy activity. We saw that, I believe, in old school. Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank, Frank the Tank, chug, 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 chug. So, is she ashamed of her frat girl past? Why? That was Harvard. It could have been Yale. It could have been Browns. They would have all done it there. I'm not sure why this guy here looks very unhappy. Is that her dad? I have no idea. A booze fest. Well, she might have deleted it from Facebook, but hey, there's a thing called the Wayback Machine. Get what you want. Somebody saved the pictures. They re-uploaded them. I think it's absolutely hilarious. But because of Miss Heinscheider teaming up with this trans activist, Dylan Mulvaney, things have kind of got a little bit tits up, I suppose. And look, if you look at the legacy for Budweiser, who are the past presidents? Right here, you've got them right here. Eberhard Anheuser, obviously the founder. Adolphus Busch, August A. Busch Sr., Gussie Busch, who I had to look at. I mean, you take one look at this fella, right? And that's someone you don't want to mess with. I mean, he's referred to as a magnate. A magnate. I mean, when was the last time you heard of somebody being referred to as an American magnate? Not for the longest time. That's who I picture as being, like, the head honcho overseeing what's going on in something like Budweiser. Not someone like this chick right here, who, though back in 2005 and 6, had a jolly old good time knocking back Rolling Rock. Rolling Rock from Pennsylvania. I love that beer. I wish I can get it again, but they stopped selling it in the UK. Apparently, I've got to fly to Pennsylvania or any other part of America to bring back a few crates worth, which I would if I could.
I really realized I was looking around, I was grasping for, as I kind of always have, a community, creating a community, particularly women. Women in community have sort of always been a part of what is my coping system.
Yes, we're bowing down to the ideology that is trans activism. It's a sad but true story, folks, but it only gets so much more worse. So heading on back to IMDb and Dylan Mulvaney's acting page. What has he done? And look at that. Trust me, we're going to react to this video here in a second. But Dylan Mulvaney is a trans actress, a comic. Now, this is the funny thing, right? You can't just have an actor and actress category. It's got to be trans actor, trans actress. His viral videos have received nearly 1 billion views across TikTok and Instagram. Of course they would, and congratulations to Mulvaney for that alone. He was awarded the TikTok Trailblazer Award for his viral series, The Days of Girlhood. Okay, documenting his transition journey. Pre-pandemic, Dylan played Elder White in The Book of Mormon on Broadway, because you know nothing screams gay like Broadway. Fresh out of college from the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, Dylan lives in LA with hopes to bring trans stories to the mainstream. Just what Disney is doing right now with Star Wars. Forget the matriarchy taking over, because the patriarchy is just a thing of the past. It's going to be the matriarchy plus the transarchy. I don't know what you're going to call it, but it's going to be that levels of absolute cringe. Let me tell you. So let's have a look at their impressive CV so far at IMDb. They've done Renee Rap to Well, that's a music video. Alaska Thunder, oh, okay, also a music video. Love Not Likes as a TV short, The Honest Show where they play Curtis, and Awkwardness as Mac. So they've just got 5 credits to their multi-talented stream of talent. Obviously you can't include TikTok and Instagram as part of your being in the public eye because they're social media platforms. They're nothing really to do with the process of being in Hollywood and making films. But let's look at their show reel right here. And I think right now it's time to do a super fawn because we have to fawn like it's going out of business. Here we go. Is the volume up? It is.
Don't know your status? Well, if you haven't gotten tested in the last 6 months, check out AuraQuick. It's the only at-home kit out there. The same quick and easy test healthcare providers use, and you find out your results in as little as 20 minutes. Get yours now at your local pharmacy or online at auraquick.com.
Hi, Andy. Hi, honey. What's the tea? What's the sitch?
Have you heard about AuraQuick?
Duh.
Can you get it online?
Yeah.
And you sure that it works? And it's totally safe?
That's right.
And you've done it before?
For sure.
God, take it.
It's been around for years. Girl, like
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet these guys are straight. The black guy right here is thinking, what the hell am I doing? Oh my, I can't take any more of this. I can't watch anymore. I think if I cannot put you guys through this. I really cannot. Oh my God. Oh. Here we go, folks. Let's have a quick look at this. So when you're advertising a sports bra and tight lycra outfits, I would imagine something like this, but apparently that's not going to be the case.
Trans star Dylan Mulvaney is the latest face of the brand's female sports clothing, but Nike's decision has come in for plenty of criticism from all sorts of people. To shed some more light on this, I am now joined by Katie John.
Yeah, that really screamed out being a trans woman who's selling sports gear to biological women. And you know what? This is a bit of a travesty, right, guys? Because when you think about it, you've had prominent sports women that could have taken the place of Mr. Mulvaney and promoted the Bud Light ads. And they might have had a degree of success. I don't see why not. But, you know, you're bringing a woman in like Miss Elisa Heinscheider because recently, hasn't GCHQ appointed its first ever female director to oversee the security of Great Britain? I'm going to wish her the best of luck because she will need it. But then again, in my experience, in my career in years gone by, I've seen women take over certain directorial positions that were mainly male dominated and haven't done a great job, which is why I ended up walking away from that particular organization because it all became about the sisterhood. Matriarchy's the best. Patriarchy is absolutely toxic and vile. So believe me, it was happening in 2015. But as per usual, I was asleep at the wheel and had no idea what was actually going on. I mean, you see things and you think that can't really be happening. You're too afraid to say things and you believe that if you were, you'd be vilified forever and ever. So guys, if you enjoyed this video today about the trials and the tribulations of Budweiser, the once great American institution that has now been tainted by more woke political identity agenda, what more can I say? And you know, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. When these type of stories break, I just find the whole thing highly amusing. Why not? Because, again, these big corporations like to shoot themselves in the foot because they think this is a great idea. It's going to appeal to the masses. At the end of the day, the big corporations does not care who their customer base is as long as they're getting their money lined with their pockets. And before I sign off, folks, let's have a look at why Bud Light commercials during the Super Bowl era, again, you're associating beer and sports together, a mainly manly activity. Well, we might get this again one day, folks. Who knows?
just not good with the ladies like you, Cedric.
All right. Try this on her. Hi, I'm Paul. You have beautiful eyes.
Hi, I'm Paul, and you have beautiful eyes.
I'd love to take you out sometime.
Love to take you out sometime.
So how much?
So how much?
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
So the next time you're in a bar, fellas, just make sure the woman you're trying to chat up isn't greeted with a message about being a streetwalker. And you know what, Bud Light, Budweiser, if you happen to be watching this video, because as I've learned from YouTube, you never know who might be watching, why don't you hire me to take over as the next VP for your American institution? I'm a brown British-based guy to be your next vice president for your company. I know my predecessors before me might be shrieking in horror about that, but hey, hear me out. I could bring back the sexiness because, again, I love myself some good-looking women to promote your beer. I will also bring you back into the spotlight. Under prominence, I'll go and, well, Jay Leno's no longer around now, is he? But I'll go on Conan O'Brien, I'll go on Jimmy Fallon and promote Bud Light in the way that it needs to be treated, with love, affection. I don't care who the customer base is, just as long as they're going out there to buy that beer. So if I were you folks, and if you were me, and if you fancy having a few beers later on with some pizzas, give me a call. I'll come round. I'll catch you while you were me on the next video.
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Your face, your ass, what's the difference?